Hello, beautiful people. It's Cinderella. Welcome to the channel. Today, we're back again with another video. This is from the channel Miss T, and this is tied to Louis Vuitton stores raided by angry customers after Chinese manufacturers expose corporate greed. Interesting. So, it's no news about the um, Chinese manufacturers and luxury brand with the tariff and everything going on right now, which is, yeah. So we're going to check this together, and I would love your thoughts and your contribution in the comments below. Let's dive right in.
The battlefield is TikTok. It is flooded with such factory videos. Chinese suppliers are reaching out to American customers directly.
But do you know that more than 80% of the luxury leather products, like handbags, purses, and shoes of Louis Vuitton, Chanel, Gucci, Coach, Prada, you name it, most of them are made in China?
Y'all, so things just went way left for Louis Vuitton, and it's not looking good at all because customers are now storming the stores after Chinese manufacturers exposed some major trade secrets. Louis Vuitton, the brand we've all known and loved for its luxury and made in Europe label, is now facing a full-on public backlash from buyers who feel totally played and betrayed. See, the thing is, this isn't just another, oh, they had a bad PR moment situation like Balenciaga. No, this is a full-on brand crisis. Like, seriously, how do you even begin to explain to customers what a brand they believe represent luxury and class, and I've made it, might actually be in the biggest scam in the fashion world? Let's get right into this.
China makes 80% of your designer bags.
Who's the Chinese supplier behind Under Armour? Shenzhou International. Nike shoes from China to your country?
Who are the suppliers behind Sullivan, Timberland, New Balance, Adidas, Nike, First, factory.
It's not just calling them out, they're showing the world exactly where your $1,000 handbag or your $100 leggings are really being made. They're now offering you the same exact stuff, no middleman, no markup. In a bold move that seems more like economic warfare than manufacturing, Chinese workers are lifting the lid on $1 billion illusion.
So it all started with a bombshell video from a factory in China, and let me tell you, the thing went viral faster than a TikTok dance trend. The video showed a factory worker casually spilling the tea on Louis Vuitton's manufacturing process. Literally everybody and their grandma has seen these TikToks, because these past couple of weeks, that's literally been the only conversation being had. But for anybody tardy to the party, let me catch you up real quick. The US introduces tariffs, thinking they could pressure everybody, especially China. But China clapped back, and in the event, decided to expose just how bad the US and generally every country heavily depends on Chinese manufacturing. And now that exposure is bleeding into luxury brands like Louis Vuitton. When I tell you the rude shock that these buyers were hit with, the reality that more than half of Louis Vuitton's bags are made in China. For years, LV has been feeding us the story that not only was their stuff made in Europe, but they were also handmade.
Even though these
The brand did not fool you. It was you that were buying into the brand or buying the brand. And they did what every other business person would do. And in their mind, it is business. They're selling their brand, they're selling their property, they're selling their stuff, or selling their business, or doing business. Because if we're being honest, no sane business owner will reveal their source or reveal where they buy their products or where they manufacture their product or whatever, except they are going to do research. Nobody would expose that or will share that with anybody, no matter how much they love you. And every business wants to make money, right? And they want to profit. So you don't tell me that these businesses shouldn't go with the manufacturers that is, affordable for their business, or that would help them produce the mass whatever they want to. They did not fool anybody. It's just that some people thought that if it's not going to the store the one that have brand name, then it is not original. It's just your illusion of thinking that by spending more or spending or buying expensive, that means it is expensive or it is original. That is your illusion. The brands did not fool you. It was you. And literally, they did not force you to buy their brand. And it's not like you too. You did not also associate that if it was made in China, you will not buy. Because people actually were insulting people that were buying things on Shein, or people that were buying things on AliExpress, because they'd be like, oh, you're cheap, eh? But now, you now realize that the both of you are from the same the same place. Because the people buying things from Shein, AliExpress, and Co., they knew, or they know. You don't have to spend hundreds of tens of thousands of dollars to look good, to buy only one thing because you want to take it to the moon. Stop it.
brands brag about being made in Europe, the video claims that more than half of Louis Vuitton's bags are actually made in China.
Now let me break all of this down because people aren't just upset because of the made in China part though. If we are being honest, that's enough to make some heads spin. What really has folks fuming is just how cheap it is to make these bags. According to a worker, a Louis Vuitton bag could be made for around $15, and yet they're charging us thousands for it? Thousands, y'all. For what? A fancy label? Because the label is pretty much the only thing added to the bag once it lands in Europe. Now would you blame loyal customers for breaking into an LV store to let it off their chest? If you were sold on the fact that a product is handcrafted, exclusive, high-end, only to realize it was fugazi? No, seriously, how do you carry your former luxurious bag around after all this? But of course, Louis Vuitton's got something to say about all of it. They released a statement because what else could they do? Saying, oh, don't worry, this is all lies, we promise. Our stuff is made by the top-tier standards, like always. Sure, but here's the thing. A lot of people aren't buying any of it, and no, it's not because they don't believe Louis Vuitton can make good products. It's because they're starting to wonder if they've been totally duped for years. I mean, are we literally paying top dollar for luxury items, or are we just lining some corporate pockets? On the other hand, China isn't making it any easier, because they're even teaching customers how to check if their luxury brands are made in China or not. And literally, everybody is shocked, because it all checks out.
Asking you guys shall receive. You want a tutorial? I got you. So let's just click my link in my bio, and it's going to take you to my landing page. Just scroll down a little bit, and here you will find the spreadsheet. This is if you want my personalized help, and this is if you want anything added to the spreadsheet. So let's go ahead and click my spreadsheet. So here we have all of the vendors that I've compiled for you guys.
But here's where it gets real interesting. People are already saying this might just be the beginning, especially now that China isn't willing to back down. So it's not going to come as a surprise when more Chinese factory workers will come forward, revealing even more shady details about what's going on behind closed doors. Imagine how this could totally flip the script on what we see, not just Louis Vuitton, but the whole luxury fashion industry. If more workers start talking, it could get ugly. But hold up, wait a minute, because not everybody's mad. Some folks couldn't care less about where the bags are made, even if the manufacturer's wears on Mars. Let it be a Martian bag. But to be honest, I kind of get it though. If you're the type of person who buys Louis Vuitton because it gives you that bowling type of vibe, are you really going to stop because it's made in China? Probably not. Because to these people, the brand name is everything, so they do not mind the price tag, which to them...
See, the thing is, I love Louis Vuitton, if I'm being honest. But obviously, when people know the price and know the worth, see, let me just tell you, that is the reason why, even yourself, you know, that is the reason why the bottled water you buy in a store or in a supermarket is not the same when you buy the same bottled water in the airport or in some particular area. It's not the same. And you know the truth. And it's a fact that they expect that even if these brands, I'm not taking sides with anybody, but I'm just letting you know that sometimes if you know your worth, you know that you will not let people downprice you. That is even you as an individual. Now the brand knows their worth. So do you want to tell me that even if the bags were made for $5, $1, or even $10, let's just say even if it's $50, do you expect the brand to sell it for $100? How would you trust the brand? Then you want to believe that the brand doesn't know their worth. So I mean, it's just common sense. They didn't trick anybody. And all of this is pretty much not in the knowledge of being exposed, because lots of people already knew this. But still, some people or some of us could love the brand from afar and decide that no, we're not going to spend our money or spend our hard-earned money on this. We can go get something cheaper, even if it's not a look-alike, but go get something cheaper or more affordable and still look good. It's not hate or whatsoever, but it's just because people people are not ready, or people don't believe in spending overpriced money for material things. And have we actually forgotten that things come and go? You want to tell me that even you know the truth, because that's why lots of these brands stay in business, because they might just make a bag of, let's say in 2012 they made a particular bag, and in 2014 you see another type of bag or another bag that you in your mind you will say, oh, this one is better than your 2012 bag, and you go to buy, but this one is way higher or way more expensive than the other one. It's just the mindset. And let's just be honest, next year another thing will still come, another property will still come from the same brand, and it will be expensive and people will still buy. But if you know the truth, you know that, okay, well, you don't want to spend your money that way. You want to use it for something else, something better. But people just feel like, oh, well, if it is not branded item, they will not buy. The brands did not fool you. They did not cheat you. They did not trick you. They were just doing their business. And they knew their worth. That's just the truth.
It's just a small price to pay, reflecting that real LV logo.
For decades, we have been conditioned to believe that China is just one giant sweatshop pumping out crap while we are the sophisticated, high-end innovators. And it turns out China has just been patiently waiting for us to be completely dependent upon their manufacturers. They have been mastering every technology, absorbing every industry, and then building an empire that doesn't need us half as much as we need them.
But the plot thickens, y'all, and I mean it thickens like a pot of grease. Just when you thought it couldn't get messier, Louis Vuitton said bet. It made it 10 times worse. Because y'all, it's like they have a full-time job to play in people's faces. Because the gag is, they really think no one wouldn't catch them. Okay, so let me give y'all some context here. Hermes came clean announcing their new price. Like, hey guys, we're gonna raise prices by 10% on May 1st. Just the US though. And you got a few weeks to get your bag right and buy whatever the heck you want before the prices go up. Real respectful, like, thank you for not blindsiding us. But Louis Vuitton, no, they're moving real sneaky deaky out here. Like a thief in the night. Out of the nowhere, no heads up, no press release, no nothing. Louis Vuitton slid a quiet 3 to 6% increase across the boards. Bags, perfumes, wallets, you name it. I kid you not, people were finding out at the cash register. Imagine pulling up to buy your favorite LV perfume and boom, it's $40 more expensive, like overnight. No warning, no courtesy text, nothing. And let's not forget, Louis Vuitton been moving shady with prices for a hot minute. Y'all remember during the COVID pandemic, right? When everybody was locked inside, saving their coin because nobody was traveling, eating out, or flexing outside? Well, Louis Vuitton saw the money stacking and said, bet, let's cash in. They were raising prices up to right back then too, with the excuse that there were broken supply chains and high cost of raw material and all of that. But babe, it's 2025 and the pandemic's been over for years, so what's the excuse now? It's giving greedy. It's giving, we thought you wouldn't notice. It's giving, we want all your coins without even saying please. And get this, it's even nastier work than you think, and the prices might still go even higher. But I have a theory, and let me just put y'all on game, right? Louis Vuitton knows their name carries heavy weight. Like, you're not just buying a bag, you're buying clout. So even if they hike the prices silently, they know fans and hypebeasts will still line up around the block to cop it. No questions asked. At least that's what they think, because they're banking on people being too embarrassed to complain or back out at the register. But soon enough, they're going to raise prices yet again, and now formally announce. So basically, they're thinking that you're not going to notice or not going to care that stuff is not fully made in Europe when they announce the way that Hermes did. And then they'll be floating even more profits. They're playing mind games with luxury statuses and clout, and it's just disrespectful. LV said, transparency, never heard of her. Y'all, the arrogance is next level, and you better believe other brands are watching and plotting too. They're flipping this whole thing around. And Chanel, girl, is already acting real quiet too, and when these luxury brands get quiet, that's when their loyalists start panicking. Like right now, Louis Vuitton is really showing us how not to treat loyal customers, and it's low-key the worst PR move they could have ever made.
And now, a statement has been released to the press, seemingly from a source close to Louis Vuitton. In their statement, the source close to the brand said, Louis Vuitton want everyone to know that what these people are saying is completely false and untrue, and they want everyone to understand that every item LV releases is made under meticulously high standards.
But this whole situation with the Chinese leaks, Louis Vuitton ain't about to let that die. No, believe it or not, the company is allegedly suing their own supposed manufacturers for leaking trade secrets to the public. And by the way, it's not just Louis Vuitton moving like that. Hermes is right there with them, fighting for their lives too. Word on the streets is Hermes and LV CEOs reportedly filed a massive lawsuit recently, accusing certain factories of lying about being their manufacturers. And on top of that, they've also allegedly sued for straight up flooding the market with fake Birkins and LVs. Y'all, it's all bad. They're saying that the
But wait, do you actually think that these brands are just gonna say, "I'll sit and come and tell you, oh well, this is true that they produce their whatever in China"? They're not gonna do it, because I mean, if they come to tell you that they actually produce from China, would you buy? Will you buy? Or if they had told you earlier from onset that their manufacturers are Chinese and the bag they just brought it to their respective countries and come and stamp their logo, would you buy? Would you buy? It is business. That's how many businesses operate. But still, they already know their worth, right? So they're just doing business. And for the China, or for China, if we're being honest, China too know exactly what they're doing. They've been doing all of this for years, going on for a really, really long time. Why are they talking now? Why are they talking now? Who is affected? Why are they talking now? In both sides, if you want to look at it, both sides is not like anyone is any better. But everybody is obviously going to do what is most profitable or more profitable to them. Chinese manufacturers, they don't want to lose their American customers or their European customers or whatever. So obviously they're going to make it easy for you guys to come and buy. In some people's words or terms, they're terming it or labeling it to be boycotting. But at the end of the day, the Chinese manufacturers still want to make money. They really don't care if you go back to buy from the manufacturer, from the bag luxury brand or whatever. They still want to make their money. They still want to keep all of this intact in their country. So now it's left for you now to think twice and be like, okay, well, which is more profitable for you. And obviously, it's for people that actually are into buying branded items that would be worried about this or more worried about this. If you're not into buying branded items, then this doesn't even, it's not your business, because some people already knew about this. So none of this is shocking. None of it is shocking, but let me know what you think.
Didn't just mess up the bag's reputation, it's literally giving bootleggers a blueprint to make near-perfect fakes. Meanwhile, Louis Vuitton is coming harder than ever too. Word in the street says that they're demanding crazy damages from some of their partners, claiming they broke NDAs and handed over their private designs to outside dealers. Mind you, these aren't just some random factories. These are longtime partners that they allegedly trusted for years. So it's gonna be super interesting how this whole thing plays out. But the wildest part is that some insiders are whispering that a few of these manufacturers were double dipping, taking legit LV bags during the day and cooking up the knockoffs after hours. Y'all, it's messed up, but not a strange concept. I mean, we've literally seen all sorts of knockoffs, but as it turns out, LV and Hermes are now throwing lawsuits left and right like it's dodgeball. But even after putting up a defense swearing they make their own products, people been asking for simple proof, like, show us the workers, show us the factory, the way China's been doing. And guess what? Hermes, LV, and all these other luxury brands literally have nada to say. The person wrote, even Ferrari, Lamborghini, Bugatti, Porsche, BMW, Mercedes show people in the factory how to assemble their engines and chassis, a piece of overpriced leather. You don't want to show people how it's done inside the factory. The question is, do they really have big factories in Italy and France for those luxury brands? Another person wrote, they can sue all they want. It won't do anything when the evidence says otherwise. Y'all, it's just extra messy right now because even with the looming lawsuits, all these brands haven't been able to actually show proof that China is on the lying side. Which further proof that something is up, because given what's at stake, this is information they could have given even without being asked. In the meantime, Chinese companies are providing full lists of manufacturers and vendors to the public and literally teaching people how to shop directly with China. At this point, it's an open secret that China literally serves the whole world. So let's be real a second. For a millisecond, it's kind of pointless for these brands that are luxury to keep denying. Like, they would have been better off just coming up with a smarter response instead of lawsuits that wouldn't go anywhere. And honestly, nobody even knew this whole trade war and them crazy tariffs was going to get this ugly. And the wild part is that it's probably going to get even messier because neither the US nor China look like they're ready to back down anytime soon. And because of all this, word in the streets is that Louis Vuitton's CEO Bernard Arnault might actually be stepping down from his role as CEO way earlier than planned. Y'all remember both Bernard and LV have maintained time and time again that he was supposed to be running the show till he was like 85. So he had a whole 10 years still left up to boss up, but now at just 76, the streets are buzzing that he might be packing it up. And it's not just because of old age. Like, let's be real. After getting hit with these crazy tariffs, Chinese TikTokers exposing luxury brands left to right, and receipts dropping showing that made in France bags are actually coming straight out of China with a wild 1000% markup, it's getting sticky. And first Hermes got heat, and now Louis Vuitton is getting dragged through the mud. The luxury game is shaking the table, and Bernard might just be dipping before it all crashes down. On top of all that, looks like the unplanned and unceremonious retirement isn't Bernard's only problem. Dude is losing money quick and fast. According to this piece, more than $9 billion was wiped from the French billionaire Arnault's fortune Tuesday morning after shares of his luxury goods conglomerate LVMH slumped by more than 7% following an unexpected drop in first quarter sales. So y'all, it's gonna take a miracle for these luxury brands to reclaim their lost glory, y'all. But anyways, drop your thoughts and comments below because I don't know what y'all think about this. Thanks for watching. I'll catch y'all in the next one.
Anyways, this brand, they actually know their worth. That is what they sold, and nobody is gonna reveal where they most likely have their manufacturers or who manufactured things and whatnot or stuff for them. And even if they do, at the end of the day, they're gonna show you or let you know the one they want you to know. They're not gonna tell you where it's originally from. So even if they come to tell you, okay, they have their manufacturers here in the US, or they have their manufacturers in um, the country it is being produced. Have you people actually heard of like sample, or the one they use to keep to store, or the one they use like to let you believe or make you believe? Because obviously China makes almost all of the raw materials that we know or that lots of companies use. That is why lots of the countries or lots of countries are solely dependent on China or are fighting China. And some countries want to take it home, but again, they need the people home to buy the stuff. But people really believe that, oh, because it is made in whatever country, it is original. Or if it's made in China, it is low quality or is not original. That is what they make you believe, or they sold to you. And you too, you fell for it because normally you're supposed to do your research to know and to learn about all these things. But no, yeah, it's your money. You spend your money. Like, right? So people shouldn't be shocked. Obviously, me, I'm not blaming the brand. I'm not even blaming the manufacturers. Obviously, For the brand, it is business, and they are doing what every or any business person would do. The manufacturers, they are manufacturers. They're doing what every manufacturer would do. They don't want to lose their business. They still want to stay in business. And same with the brands. So now it's left for you. If you still want to go after branded property, choose your poison carefully, or choose your poison wisely. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, and all that stuff. And until next time, see you in the next video.